end of the season for the Eagles, but it was a great season for them, a very successful one. They finished with a share of the GMAC championship. Of course, opened the season with a big win over IUP, which they had never done before.
The monkey is off the backs of the AU Eagles. They have finally vanquished the IUP Crimson Hawks.
Got the very memorable playoff win over Minnesota Duluth. So great season overall for the Ashland Eagles.
Ashland University has always been good. And now the challenge is going from good to great.
AU Eagle Jack, are you ready? Jack! AU Eagle Jack, who's ready? Jack! Hey, Eagles on three, 1, 2, 3! Eagles!
Ashland Spring Football 2026 is brought to you by the AU Gridiron Club, the team behind the team. To learn more and join, visit ashlandgridironclub.org. Alabama coach Bear Bryant once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. Everyone has that. It's the will to prepare to win that matters." College football teams are allowed 34 days and 15 practice sessions every spring. This is when teams begin preparing for the fall season. It's when teams prepare to win.
We're going into a 6-week cycle now. We're in the middle of spring practice. Okay? The challenge now is to not only maintain but go beyond.
Just want to get your overall thoughts on the 2025 season.
2025 season, I think, was a season where we maximized the potential of the team. Team fought hard. We're able to tie for the conference championship and go to the playoffs. So our graduating seniors are actually in postseason 4 years in a row, 3 in the playoffs, 1 in the bowl game, which is quite a mark to lead. That senior group also the first group ever to win 9+ games in every year of their career. So a very, very successful group, a lot of high achievers in the classroom as well. And I think last year's team became Ashland men, which is probably the biggest compliment I can give them.
Coming out of that season, what did you challenge the current players to do during the offseason?
Well, I made a point to them that Ashland Football, Ashland University has always been good. And now the challenge is going from good to great. So that's kind of our mantra in the off season, is finding a way to get that extra juice from the squeeze and take the next step and become a great program, not just a good program.
What do players need to do to separate themselves during the spring?
Well, there's a couple, twofold. The older guys need to establish that they need to be on the bus or be a starter, or they're going to be a tremendous player for us. So build on their time here. The younger guys, a lot of them have changed their body in the off season through the winter training. And so now it's just a matter of getting up to speed and showing us what else they can do now that they're physically caught up to the younger guys, or to the older guys, excuse me. So really from there, it's a matter of carryover. The whole theme of the spring is learning and carryover, and make your mark on that. You need to be a serious part of what we're doing in the fall.
Spring football is a season by itself. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's time to grow, to get stronger, to get faster, to really hone in on your techniques and really improve your game and the peers around you.
To me, it means growth. It's like the regular season, but instead of, playing that game on Saturday, you have the practices, you have all that. And we do have scrimmages on Saturdays, and we have like the spring game, but I mean, it's kind of hard to replicate like a real game against another team. We're going against our own team. I'm not trying to hurt my other teammates, whereas if I'm getting out on the field against another team, I could care less who's across from me, But spring football, it means growth for me. And I think that's how everyone looks at it. You come into here, you look at the past season, okay, what did I do? How did I do? How can I grow? Okay, like where am I really gonna focus at in the spring? It could be a lot of things. It could be very few things. So I really enjoy spring football. It's one of my favorite times just to be able to grow as a player and kind of nitpick little things that you want to work on.
For us, it's twofold. As coaches, it is a laboratory. And so you teach your scheme, you work your scheme, you'll have some nuances, some tweaks to what you've done previously. So it is that laboratory to kind of test things out, see if there are any additions you want to add to as we go into the fall. For a player, it's a learning experience. And so you go in, you learn assignments, you learn techniques, you learn your fundamentals, and you hopefully get to a point you learn it so well that your talent shows through. And now you can truly compete to be on the field in the fall.
After 2 weeks of practice, it's time for the first of 2 live scrimmages, which offers a chance for players to showcase what they've learned and perform under game-like conditions.
Play the game you love, play in the pool. Still not everybody live, but as close as we're going to get in the spring. So, great job of that. We'll watch the tape. Get with your coach as far as when you're going to watch the tape. Okay, remember what normal schedule.
With players emerging as position contenders, AU football also has some new faces on the coaching staff. 26-year-old Romeo Weichel, a native of Cleveland, Tennessee, has joined the staff as safeties coach. A former defensive back at UT Chattanooga, Weichel was a defensive quality control coach at his alma mater prior to joining the Eagles.
Coach Weichel is a great fit for Ashland. He just gets what Ashland is all about, the culture and the tradition and all that stuff. He's an old soul, even though he's a young coach, he's a very old soul and very much old school, if you want to use that cliche. Does a great job building relationships with players. Great competent understanding of what we're trying to get done in the back end and what we're trying to get done on defense. And he has a very, very bright future as a coach in his profession.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you'd be crazy to not mention that, they've won 3 out of the last 4 conference championships. Like, no matter where you're at, like that's an impressive feat. And then obviously just the support that this place has. Everybody around here seems to love football and athletics as a whole. So that was also very important to me. Also just, the staff, like everybody was very welcoming. Great guys, they love football, and then they're also competitors as well, which is something that, I pride myself on being. They want to win and make sure things are going right. And, that was what kind of stood out to me.
A familiar name in Ohio college football coaching circles has also joined the AU staff as cornerbacks coach. Joe Nemeth, a former standout student athlete at Malone, has coached at Capital, Otterbein, Ohio Dominican, and most recently at Wittenberg. This is his second stint coaching with the Eagles.
Joe's picked up right where he left off. I've known Joe for over 30 years. I knew him as a high school player way back in the day. And What do I get with Joe? I get a guy who works his tail off, number one, in every aspect, takes pride in what he does, wants to do everything for the good of the cause. There's not an ego there, which is tremendous. He's a bulldog in recruiting, and obviously he's been a loyal friend for over 30-some years. There's a certain loyalty there too that I know I get from Joe. And he was bought in even before he came here to what the Ashland Eagles were about, and so it was a great get for the Eagles to add somebody of his competence and his experience to that position.
Some of the changes that have occurred here, obviously Coach Geiser's the head football coach, where when I was here previously, Coach Lee Owens was here. Some different things as far as some of the things that we do defensively are a little bit different. A little bit more other coverages that we run that we didn't necessarily run here in the past. I think one of the things that I noticed right off the rip when I got here was the fact that our offensive linemen are a lot bigger as a group than I was here when I was here previously, and so they've done a great job in recruiting and retention, and we've got a tremendous group of young men, all the way from down on the defensive line to linebackers and then the secondary, and so it's a really good seasoned group of players.
The Eagles' offense experienced a major change entering the spring with the retirement of longtime offensive coordinator Tom Stacy. Lexington, Ohio native and former Tiffin Dragons player A.J. Nikolai will succeed Stacy as the team's new offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Nikolai is entering his 6th season coaching the Eagles.
Yeah, new role taking over for Coach Stacy as the quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator. It's a big difference from what I've done the last couple of years. I started as a grad assistant here 4 years ago, and then I took over as the running backs coach when Coach Geiser got hired to be the head coach. So I was super appreciative of that to get my first full-time coaching job. After that, kind of slid into the pass game coordinator role last season, and then Coach Stace, retired and was able to kind of take over for him. So it's been a lot of fun. I had a very productive spring, I think. Super proud of our players for kind of taking some new stuff in stride and being able to, kind of execute and figure it out. So it was cool.
It just seemed like a natural fit to bump AJ to that offensive coordinator role and make him the quarterbacks coach. And I think he's ready. He's got a certain creativity and a flair about him. He's got a good vision of where he wants to take our offense to progress forward. And I'm excited to see how he performs this year. I think he's done a great job through the spring, and I think the sky's the limit as far as what we can do on the offensive side.
One constant on the coaching staff at Ashland is defensive coordinator and linebackers coach Tim Rose, who will be entering his 18th season at AU in 2026. Starting with his playing career at Xavier in 1960, Rose has devoted 65 years to football as a player and coach.
I want you to try and describe Coach Rose in one word.
Passion.
I think I just got to say legendary.
Passionate.
Focused.
How would I describe Coach Rose in one word? Leader.
Really, we play what we want to play. We don't really game plan the offense. We just call stuff to see if that particular package, that particular defense will work. And even if you get in a bad situation, you make your players adjust to a bad situation. So we teach what we want to teach, evaluate it in the good and the bad situations, and then determine what you want to take into fall camp based on how well you play what you want to play and how you play or what you play versus the teams you have to play. And I've said for years, every game's a season by itself. You need a lot. To play game one doesn't mean that same package is going to work again game 4. So you need a lot in your toolbox. So we try to have a lot in the package and see it in the spring and then take in the fall whatever we think we need.
the enthusiasm he brings to work every day, he brings to the staff, the passion he brings to the players and to the program is immeasurable. And from that word of just passion or enthusiasm, you also get a certain professionalism. He's a great role model for our young coaches, actually even our old coaches on staff, with the way he approaches everything. His preparation, he doesn't mail it in. He still researches everything with a fine-tooth comb, looking for to build that perfect mousetrap in a way to contain the offense, the eternal quest of containing that offense there. But if one word, it would be passion.
That's a great man, a great father. Seeing him, I think he's about to turn 84, 85, and he's still out here giving us his all. It motivates you. It does something to you, to your bones, your spirit, that just makes you want to go out there and play hard, not only for him, but for the fans, for the alumni, and for your brothers and coaches next to you.
He's a leader. He leads the defense. He leads the defensive staff. I wouldn't say he's a boss because he takes input very well. He has a saying that, I don't want to be right, I want to do it right. And he truly lives that every day. You don't coach for 60-something years without trying to be someone that gets it right. And he truly embodies that.
Time moves quickly during spring football. More opportunities await the players and the coaches in the second live scrimmage.
Well, first and foremost, it always starts with the quarterback position. And when you graduate a quarterback, and Cam Blair did a tremendous job for us the last year, you need the person to step up and assume that mantle. So we've got a quarterback competition going on right now, and nobody's won the position through the spring. It's a very heated competition. So we'll let that play out through the summer and through training camp, and settle on a guy that's going to lead our football team on the offensive side of the ball. Other than that, you want to look at offensive line. We lost two really good players. You lost 8 years basically of starting experience with a 4-year starter at center, Ethan Enders, and a 4-year starter at left tackle in Nick Walker, both all league for 4 years as well. So that's a big piece to replace up front. And we've got some guys that we think will have a chance to do that, but it just takes reps and it takes time to kind of get to that position. Defensively, you want to look at it. We graduated a couple guys in the back end, and so we got to replace a couple safeties. We replace a corner, and so you're always looking, especially with the way of college football is nowadays. You've got to be really sound and good in the back end.
Yeah, the QB battle going on. You just have to show up every day and can't take reps off with how little we get in the spring. You have to take advantage of each rep.
Obviously it's tough, anytime you're in spring because you're not preparing for a game week to week, right? So, it's really just kind of that, hey, starting practice 1 and working all the way through the 15 practices that you get, 2 scrimmages and the spring game, and really just trying to develop each day. Every day I ask all those guys to come in and you're preparing like you're going to play a game that day, right? So that way, you're always on, you're always competing, you're ready to go. Because we got to put our best foot forward as we go into the summer and into fall.
Drew is in his 3rd year, and he's one of the guys fighting for the quarterback job, and has been voted an accountability team captain. So he's kind of grown with his stature on the team, but he needs to raise the level of his play also. So he's embroiled in a quarterback competition right now, and he's improved through the spring, but so is competition at this point. So it's been nice to kind of see him grow into where he feels comfortable in his own skin now, and seeing him get better and progress, but hasn't won the job yet.
It's been really cool with Drew because he was a part of the first class that I was a part of recruiting when I got here a couple years ago. And to kind of see him go from a freshman all the way, to where he is now, and kind of that development has been really cool. He's sat behind 2 quarterbacks in his time here with Trevor Bazinski and Cam Blair last year. So he's been in the offense. He's been able to kind of see it from that perspective, and now he's competing for the job. So it's been fun to watch him kind of progress and grow.
Our first goal on the board in our first meeting in the spring was, play fast. And that was Coach Nikolai's main point. He just wants us to play fast. We need to be at a faster tempo, getting the calls in faster, getting the line faster, just whatever it means, play fast. And so that has kind of been our whole mantra. And, from the start of the spring, we were trying to play fast. I don't think we were doing a great job at it. Just kind of having everyone to really understand what we're trying to do. But, so the first scrimmage, it was a little lackadaisical, it wasn't great. We were playing fast, but we weren't executing fully. But then the second scrimmage, I think we really turned it on, and we were playing fast, we were executing, we were making plays all over the place. And then in the spring game, everybody was making plays. And so our offense has really progressed, and so it's going to be very exciting this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing, with John, just being able to see him as a freshman come in and contribute a little bit, here and there, and, in his role. And then, this past season really having a bigger role, and just seeing him grow into, he's really filling out. So, being able to kind of contribute as a blocker a little bit more and have some lead in the pencil there as he blocks. And then also being a really dynamic receiver as well. He's one of those guys that's fun to watch.
Spring football provides an opportunity for players to separate themselves and carve out a spot on the depth chart. For veteran players, it's a chance to develop their leadership skills.
Really just trying to grow as a vocal leader, really help guys play fast, play confident, help them with the calls, help them with the signals, help them with their techniques. It's the little things that'll take you far.
Yeah, EJ has done extremely well. As far as a player goes, he was kind of like the same as what I've asked everybody, a new technique that, might have frustrated him a little bit because he didn't have it down packed. That was just him being a competitor and wanting to be so good at stuff, but it took him a couple reps. But as far as things that I was asking of him, he definitely improved in every aspect. I'm excited to, be out there and coach him and watch him how he does in his senior season as far as just from a player standpoint. As far as a leader, he's a very vocal leader, and he's a leader on our back end, and it's no secret to who gets us in the defenses and who gets us lined up and things like that. Who helps out other guys, who challenges other guys. That's EJ Tia, and I'm happy to have him on my side and be able to coach him.
I think I'm getting to that point where I'm being a little more vocal and Coach Rose is trying to like push me to be like that, trying to be like that main leader on the defense, because like being a senior and everything, he's very senior like oriented. He really loves when the seniors, or pushes for like the seniors on the defense to like take charge and like lead this unit. So I think I'm getting more comfortable being a vocal guy. I've never really been much of a vocal leader, but I've always been led by that example kind of guy. But I love how he keeps trying to push, like he's pushed me in those uncomfortable scenarios and try and like put myself out there and being that vocal guy.
He leads by example. A very strong guy, very strong player, and again got more sudden this year, stronger, smarter. Figuring things out a little bit better. So I just think he's a complete football player, as is Jack Talkington. The same thing, another great player. Had a great fall, first team All-League, and played at a high level this spring.
Now, the spring game is not quite as controlled because it's an actual game situation, and we actually split the team up. The captains draft the teams, and it is a fun kind of give back that I can do as a head coach for banging into each other for 14 straight practices. Now you get a chance to have fun with it. So there might be some special plays that come out. You're not necessarily wed to the system that we do. It's more of a unique, competitive situation for bragging rights. And so it's not quite as a controlled circumstance as the first two scrimmages.
And a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to AU Football Spring Game Edition. We are coming to you live and free from Jack Miller Stadium on the AU campus.
Speed to the ball. Assist teammates. Sort of last week, do it again. Celebrate together. Celebrate together. Build on that. Get better. Don't stop the construction.
Shumpert throws a screen pass to Ty Stevenson, makes the catch 50, 45, across the 40, wrestled down at about the 39-yard line. Harvey with a option pass downfield. Pass is caught by John Merrimee. It was a pass to Harvey from Drew Novak. Harvey throws it downfield. It was caught by Merrimee, his first catch of the spring game, and it's all the way down to the 17-yard line. J. Harvey in there as well. Novak to throw it. Fires a pass. Looking for Merrimee. Reaches up with two gloved hands and brings it in. It's a touchdown, Gold team. 6-0 Gold. They score first in the annual spring game. 6-0. Football at the 34-yard line. He drops back to throw it. On fourth down. He's got time. Rushed out of the pocket. Looking for somebody open. Heaves it middle of the field. Pass is caught downfield at the 40-yard line in Gold territory. Isaiah Ramsey leaps up and makes a tremendous catch in traffic.
That was a great catch.
Gold leading it by a score of 7-0. Play action. Drew throwing downfield, man wide open. It's caught at the 20, to the 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown for the Gold team. Caught by Aiden Duncan, the freshman out of Cleveland, Ohio. He makes it 13-0 Gold with a long touchdown pass from Drew Novak of about 35 yards. Jumper to the end zone, back corner, man is open, it's caught, Ramsey, that's it, touchdown. Purple team scores.
Boy, that combination looks pretty darn good.
They'll hand it to Perry. No, it's to Harvey on a reverse. He rolls into the end zone on the left, just outside the numbers. Harvey runs it in, a 4-yard touchdown run. And it is 20-7 Gold as DJ Harvey runs it in.
Nice play.
.43 seconds left. Justin Giffen will take another knee, and that should get us to the triple zeros on the scoreboard. Gold team wins. They're going to get a day off from conditioning during training camp and the T-shirts. It's over. Purple falls to the Gold team 21-7 here at Jack Miller Stadium. Stay tuned. We will...
How do you feel after the completion of this year's spring season?
We've made some progress, both in our techniques, our fundamentals system. I was meeting with the coaches this morning as far as evaluating, the packages, evaluating the systems, but also evaluating personnel and setting a depth chart coming out of the spring. So I think we've made some good progress in that respect. I think we've really grown as a team with our chemistry, and I think our new set of captains have grown as leaders. Still haven't arrived yet because ultimately I can't really evaluate them until we hit our first adversity. We haven't hit the first adversity yet. So continue to bank those hours and bank that time and prepare. And when you need to make that withdrawal from the from the deposit there, from the piggy bank, hopefully it's there for us to take out as big as we need.
Well, we just met and went over our objectives, and we got done what we wanted to get done. We got this stuff taught. We tried to teach a kind of a 2026 theme of swarming to the ball. We think we got better at every position. Guys got better. You could see the improvement in their techniques and the way they played. So, overall, I think it was a good spring.
I believe it was pretty productive. Spring was very productive. Obviously, I got started here, a little close to the vest of when we did start, but at the same time, too, coming in and having been here previously in the past, having an understanding of Coach Rose's defense and how he wants it taught and how he wants techniques taught and things of that nature. I thought it was a good transition. It was an easy transition for me. I think it was an easy transition for the players. The biggest obstacle probably to get through is them getting to know me and me getting to know them as quickly as we needed to do. So, but overall, I thought it was very productive. I think we got a lot accomplished, and I think we're on track to do well in the fall.
Coach, any other final thoughts as you look forward to this 2026 season?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for the 2026 team. I'm excited to. We got a handful of firsts that we've set as goals as a team, and I'm excited to see if this team will step up and become Ashland men and take that challenge and take the next step of the program.